How's that? Test. I was born into the comfortable, cozy world of the 1950s in central Pennsylvania. If you go to YouTube and watch the Donna Reed Show, Leave It to Beaver, Captain Kangaroo, you get some idea of how we expected people to behave back then. Neighbors protected neighbors. You could trust people to keep their promises. The golden rule was a rule. But once a summer, we would leave this protected paradise, and the whole family would pack up and take a vacation to an exotic foreign land, the Jersey Shore. Now, usually we spent time in the water, but this one particular day, Dad showed us kids a really neat trick he had learned, how to make a sandman. You can make a sandman out of sandballs the same way you can make a snowman out of snowballs. What you do is you get a big glob of wet sand and you kind of spin it like this, and the water, centrifugal force, pulls the water out towards the edges. Add more sand, spin, sand, spin, sand, spin, and the center gets hard and like a concrete. So you get a pretty good sized ball like this. So the kids just love this thing. And then we made a tower of these sand balls. We called it a sand man, but it wasn't a man because we couldn't figure out how to make the arms stand out. So it was a tower of sand balls. But we were pretty proud of that thing. It got close to 2.5 to 3 feet tall. So, and we were the only people in the whole beach who did anything like this at all. And we were doing it with just our hands. No tools, no shovels, no buckets. So we thought we were hot shit. So when it came time to leave, we wanted to leave this behind and save it for posterity so everyone could see this really neat trick Dad had taught us. So Dad and I went over to there was a teenager next door laying on a beach towel who had watched us all day. And we said, hey, you've seen us make this. We want other people to appreciate this really cool thing. Can you keep an eye on it for us? And he said, sure. So we thanked him, walked back, gathered our stuff, went to the car. Now to get to the car, we had to go up over a sand dune and then back down again to the parking lot. But as the family was packing up that car, my dad did something interesting. He quietly motioned to me and he said, let's go take a look at something. So he led me back up to the top of that sand dune, and we looked down and we watched that teenager kick the shit out of that tower of sandballs. Whapping with his fists, kicking with his feet. If there was a ball left on the sand, he'd stomp it flat. By the time he was done, total devastation, no sign of anything going on there at all. Now, obviously, he had a blast doing this, but I was in shock. Here, this guy had promised us he was going to look after it, and yet he totally destroyed it. So my thought was, geez, people from New Jersey are crazy. But I look back on that, and I think Dad took me back over that sand dune for a reason. He knew it was going to happen. And this was his way of not only teaching me a lesson, but showing me a lesson. The world I was brought up in was different from the real world. In the real world, you couldn't trust everybody. Not everybody was a Boy Scout. And that was a rough lesson to learn that day. Here it is, numerous decades later, and I'm still pissed at that guy. The least he could have done was put some effort into it and try to keep his promise, but still have a fun way to take advantage of this stack of sandballs that we had gifted him. Wouldn't this be a better story? Wouldn't this be a better world if I could tell you that Dad and I went back up over that sand dune and we looked down and we just watched that teenager proudly display his tower of sandballs to a crowd of amazed beachgoers, telling them how he had made it with just his 2 hands, no buckets, no tools, no shovels. And then he could proudly bow as he gracefully acknowledged their sustained applause. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.